love
Ladies
that
and
title
gentlemen,
sequence.
You're welcome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Those title
That
sequences
was
are
good.
awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week, where weekly we do a deep dive into a certain character, and we go through all the what we like, what we don't like, top covers, must-read stories, and of course, badass moments. But as usual, we got my usual partners in crime. Down below me is Dan the Man Kelly. To his right or left, I'm going to say his right, is the Ric Flair Comics from the Library of Congress.
Woo!
Check him out right there. I think he's got the main man with him right there. And of course, next to me is always Tim the Terrible. How you guys doing tonight?
Very good.
Doing good.
Awesome. All right, so we get some business out of the way then really quick before we jump in.
Right on.
All right, let's start off with the Codex Station then. You got to head over to the codexstation.com, check out all our stuff there. We go on all the socials. If you just do at the Codex Station, you should be able to find us anywhere on any streaming media. But while you're on codexstation.com, get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. It's a great site to check out. You can even contact us through the website. It's awesome. So down below me is, well, I got to do mine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you, Sal? It's okay to do you.
You do you.
yourself.
Me. We're going to do me. All right. When I'm not here on Codex Station, you can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner or under Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. Now, down below me, he's the man on Instagram, Dan the Man Kelly. Give us your info there, buddy.
Yep, like he said, you can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. Post art and music a few times a week, so go give me a follow. When I checked it earlier, I was at 807, so hoping to hit 1,000.
1K for DK.
1K for DK. That's
Get
right.
this massive D across the finish line, ladies
That's
and
right.
gentlemen.
Get this massive D,
Both
1K.
hands.
Yes. So come give me a follow and leave me some comments. Let me know what you like and don't like. I'll pay attention to what you like. I'll probably ignore the rest of it.
Smart.
Come join the fun. And then this guy beside me, he wears Armani suits. He wears $10,000 Rolexes. He will come and slap the disrespect right out of your mouth. He is the Ric Flair of comics, Uncle Gary.
Woo!
There it is.
Man, thank you, DK.
What an
That's why you are my road manager, because you know how to separate the wheat from the chaff. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Woo!
I am glad I got a front row seat to this. By God, keep going.
I know.
Oh, this is gonna be a wild episode tonight. All right. You can catch me at Comic Logic. I was just there tonight. We had our grumpy old nerd show, and we have my best friend Mike Harbor's birthday. Comic Logic.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday.
I said happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike. We are Comic Logic. We are Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. Please come by and see us. You come by every Wednesday morning. You can see me getting my weekly fix. That's how these veins get ripped. That's how these muscles jump. That's how I can do all these push-ups, because I read comic books. That's it. That's the breakfast, lunch, and dinner of champions.
Yes.
That's how you get pumped up. Comic books, baby. So come get your comics. Come watch our Facebook Live show first 3 Thursdays of every month. And also check out our endeavors on Comic Character of the Week. That is a show that is that is on the on Facebook. That is a site that's designed, created by our good buddy Archduke Kevy. It's the way that we are all acquainted and interconnected. It is the glue that stuck us and brought us together. I under the name Opie Taylor, post a comic character of the day, the cover of the day, and Dan over there posts a question of the day and a random panel of the day. Today's random panel was both delicious and erotic. All together made me hungry
every day
and aroused all at the same time.
Oh my God.
That's right.
People seem to like the one today. It had like a dozen comments on
it.
That's
exactly. Today was Trey magnificent. It was great. It was something. So and Sal also posts on there, and Tim up there is always watching us. See, he puts those eyes on. He's always making sure that we are giving the public exactly what they wanted. Because today, Dan gave the public exactly what they wanted. And it was spectacular. So, without further ado, let's kick it up to Tim, and let's see what Tim has to say about where you can see him feel him, taste him, and embrace him like we all do.
Oh,
And love him. And love him.
I need all the love I can get, ladies and
See?
gentlemen. And
There
the
you go.
best way to do it, if you want to lay beside me
Oh,
in a
no.
sea
Woo!
of staples and paper, by all means, find me on the socials. Slide into my DMs, please, at the Codex Station. Make sure
Don't
to hit the
slide
like,
in.
share, bust in, right? Just don't even let me know. Just put a hand on my shoulder and say it's go time. I'll be like, huh? Okay. Let's
Okay.
do it. At the
Go.
Codex Station, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite social media platforms, hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow, because YouTube loves that when you do it, and it gets us over to all the other people that haven't seen us yet. And if you're watching this right now and you're on the fence about subscribing, all you got to do is look at the 3 other gentlemen that are with me and know that this sexiness is here all the time, every time. So hit that, please.
I mean,
Hit
I'm wearing a
it.
Reese's
Woo!
peanut butter cup shirt. That's damn
Is-
sexy right
Is,
there.
is that what you say to him? Hit that, please.
That's
Hit
right.
that.
And
Hit
without
that, please.
without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, though I may have a tongue of silver, Sal has a
Woo.
storytelling of gold, and I'm going
Nice.
to pass the collection tray over to him.
Silver and gold sounds like a Christmas song.
Why, thank you.
There you go. This way. There you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to warn you, this is going to be a slightly mature topic tonight because of the character we are covering. There might be a little swear words. There might be a little innuendos.
Cover the kids' eyes and leave their ears open.
So you have been warned.
The
But-
rears open? Leave
Yes.
the rears open?
Their ears.
Oh,
Ears.
My bad.
It's ears.
Here
But
we
for
go.
all our information tonight is going to come from Dan. So Dan, why don't you kick us off and get this guy rolling here?
Well, tonight's character is Lobo, and he first appeared back in June 1983 in Omega Men #3, created by Keith Giffen and Roger, I don't know how you say this.
Sulfur?
Slifer, whatever.
Yes.
Mhm.
So Lobo is a bounty hunter that is the last of his race, the Zarnians. Am I saying that right, Gary?
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why is he the last of his race, Dan?
Well, he is the last of his race because he killed all of the other ones.
Killed them all!
Because
And
there's
the way-
only one.
And the
There
way
can
that
be only
he
one.
killed them was that he unleashed a plague of flying scorpions on them, flying scorpion-like creatures that he created and unleashed on them pretty much for his own amusement so that he could be the last one. He became a bounty hunter, and it's known that once he takes a contract, he always fulfills it, and that his word is his bond. And if he says he's going to do something, he will 100% do it, and nothing will stop him.
Yeah.
As far as his abilities go, he's got super strength, durability. He's a healing factor. He's essentially immortal. He can recover from any injury, no matter how severe, down to the point where literally he can recover from a single drop of blood. He can recover and regrow himself. He's an expert in multiple forms of armed and unarmed combat. And even though it doesn't seem like it, he does have a genius level intellect. He just chooses to focus it on, let's just say, some areas of study that, are a little more risque than others.
The Kama Sutra.
Mm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I read this that the
Gymnastics.
last Zarnian that he killed was his kindergartner teacher or fourth grade teacher. Fourth grade teacher.
God.
And he strangled her at that.
Well, wasn't he strangled her?
I thought it was that. Maybe not.
Well, I don't know. Should we give away? I'm sure that this is something that we'll get into later on. And
Oh yeah, don't worry. We'll go
story.
deep dive into that later.
You say we'll deep throat it?
Well,
What?
deep
God.
dive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no
Wreck it,
control,
wreck it,
ladies and
wreck
gentlemen. It's happening tonight. That's all there
They
is
were
to it.
warned. They were warned.
They were.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Maybe we should have like a little sensor come up at the bottom when you edit this, Tim. Let's put a little.
I will
Let's
do my best.
mature audiences only, please. All right.
Have you seen the cover of the Lobo spring break special? I think it is.
Yeah.
Where he's got 2 gals right here, and he's naked, and the barcode is right there at his crotch, right in the center. It's great.
That's funny.
That's what we need.
Yep. All right, Dan. Go ahead and finish up. Or are you finished? Oh wow, he is finished. Okay.
I
Well,
mean, I
then
gave the first appearance, I gave the origin, I gave the powers.
all right. Well, then you're done. You're done. Relax. But
He
this
gave
brings us
all a
to our-
man can give, Sal.
I expect more. I expect more.
Okay.
But we could find out more by hitting our sponsor there really quick. Uh-oh. Yes, this episode is not for kids.
Ladies
When
and
it's raining,
gentlemen,
wear your
when-
rubbers
there you go.
Nice.
or your cement galoshes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But
Okay,
before we dive in, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, which
I
is
gotta find it.
Energy. Yeah, come on, there we go. So go
There
over
you go.
to w.gg and use the code -X and save 10% on that order. It is a good, clean energy drink. There's no bad aftertaste. There's no jitters. There's no bad crash. It's a good, clean energy drink compared to anything else on the market. You should definitely check them out. Head over there, go to WGG, use the code -X, save 10%.
Do they have
Okay.
a Beatles jizz flavor?
They
Ooh,
do, and it's just for you, Gary.
There
Oh,
it is.
man.
You can pay extra for that in Vegas if you need to.
Man.
No. Well, now it's a party.
Not yet, but it will be. We're fashionably early.
Well, we are. All right, so let's kick us off to our first segment now. What works best for this character? And Tim, I'm going to shoot it over to you.
What works best to me is the fact that he was made to be the worst of everything that people emulated in superheroes, and he turned into what he was supposed to make fun of, and that is completely esque,
Oh,
right?
oh.
No, what?
You were breaking up there.
Waking up and freezing.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
He's emoting. He's emoting.
My
It's
network connection is down.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going down even further. Give me a second. Let me step out for a moment and I'll come right back.
All right, Gary, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with your what you like best about him?
Well, what I like best about him, now. So let's keep in
What
mind when
works
he was
best?
created. Like Tim was thinking, he was supposed to be a parody of Wolverine and
Mhm.
a statement against the anti-heroes that had cropped up during the era of the Punisher. Who's getting more popularity. So he was, he was a Keith Giffen had created him as a. The idea was kind of a parody of the anti-heroes, and he has no idea why he took off what he did the way he did. But it's because he's so rotten on so many levels that it is just so damn funny. And Lobo's at his best when he is just a bull in the china shop, barreling into a situation,
Gave him a word.
balls to the walls. Hey, like we saw in Lobo Unbound, balls to the walls.
Balls to the wall, baby.
Balls to the walls.
Wow.
Oh my God. It's just pure mayhem. He doesn't give a rat's ass about collateral damage. So I just love that. I love that he talks so much trash. And when he was first created, he looked so different from the Omega Man character. So when they settled on the Hell's Angel, intergalactic Hell's Angel look for him, that was freaking perfect.
Yeah.
So look, I got a main man here on my shirt. That is Lobo. That's how he should look, man. So I just think when chaos reigns supreme and he barrels through like a bull in a china shop, that is when Lobo is at his absolute freaking best.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, Tim, why don't you finish up, or you want to add anything?
So let me reiterate for when I was going in and out of consciousness. Lobo is the antithesis of superheroes, and the fact that he became as popular as he is because he's everything that, like the Beastie Boys, right? Fight for your right. That entire song was written to make fun of rock anthems, and it itself turned into a rock anthem. Lobo was created to make fun of all of these superheroes, and he himself turned into what he was supposed to make fun of, and that is incredibly Lobo-esque. It's perfect. It's amazing. You can't ask for anything else.
No.
Everything else I want to say, Uncle Gary, you already said it. So
sorry.
no
it's all right.
worries.
No,
I'd be parroting everything because I agree 110%. he is not for the faint of heart. He is not for those that are easily offended. He is for those that can shut their brain off and enjoy dick and fart jokes
and mayhem.
and mayhem. Absolutely,
chaos, mayhem. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, well, I go next, and I'll let Dan wrap up this segment. Yeah, I think it's what you guys have said this before, but his moral code. What's his moral code?
0.
Give me the money. Give me the money. That's it. You pay me to do something, I'm doing it.
Gave
but
him a word.
I have seen over his experience that he chooses his wording carefully so that
Yep.
he can actually have loopholes in anything that he's agreed to.
Yep.
So I do like that. One of his translations of his name is "one who devours your entrails and thoroughly enjoys it." So, that's just awesome to me. It's also Spanish and Portuguese for wolf, which is. I do like the fact he looks like a member of KISS. I mean, that's just awesome for me.
Yep.
I love that. And whenever I read Lobo or I read some of his books, I always get the voice from Superman the animated series when he was there and he fought Superman, and after Superman punches him, he's like going frack as he's like flying backwards, right?
You know who did that voice?
Who did that voice? I never got a chance to look it up.
Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond. The brother.
Oh, nice.
Hello, Raymond.
Nice. Okay, all right, that's cool. That's good to know.
But he did a great job. Great job.
He did. So every time now I read Lobo, I hear that voice, and that's what I love. So Dan, why don't you go ahead and tell us which works for you?
I mean, yeah, you guys kind of nailed it. He was created in the 90s to be a parody of Wolverine, the Punisher, like all the grim and gritty 90s stuff. He was created, to make fun of that and be like, look how stupid this all is. And he ended up becoming like one of the biggest characters of the 90s. And
he was huge. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, you're right. He was everywhere. And and you said like Keith Giffen was like, I don't understand it, but but whatever. Like, he's supposed I think it was because people probably didn't realize at the time that he was making fun of all the other stuff. They were just like, oh yeah, he's ultraviolet, he's funny, and this. It's like, yeah, but he's making fun of the stuff that you like, but you don't understand it. But so that's what I like when he's just being ultra-violent, when he's being satirical. And as far as him in the stories, when he works alone, he takes his contract, he goes out and do it. Like he might interact with other characters here and there, but he's essentially off on his own. And when he has to work with someone else, he makes it very clear that he is not happy about having to work with someone else.
Yep.
Ambush Bob?
Yeah.
Ambush Bob. Yeah.
That's funny.
Ambush Bug is so good.
Look who's in the house. It's Wes.
What's up, Wes? How you doing, brother?
Hello again, Wes.
What is going on? Glad you're joining us tonight. All right, so that is how this character works best for us. The next segment we got up is the 3 badass moments. Now, I know Uncle Gary's got like 20, 30, probably 40.
That's why y'all go first. Yep.
All right. So, Dan, why don't you kick us off with this, and we'll go around the horn on that one.
All right. Well, I've got and I can't remember the issue numbers on all of them. So the first one I'll start out with is not specifically an issue number. It's just he wiped out his entire race because he felt like it. Essentially, he's like, I'm going to be the only one, and they're going to be gone. And then he created this, plague of flying scorpion-like creatures that would infect all of them and somewhat slowly and painfully kill them, essentially for his own amusement.
Yeah.
Then I got in Lobo Unbound 56, when he goes to this it was 5 or 6, I think it was 6, when he goes to this vacation planet.
Infidel.
Yabba Dabba Doo.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Abadoo.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, he goes to this. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't a vacation planet. That was another season. He goes to this planet and he takes a contract to kill the leader, not knowing that he would then become the leader because whoever's leader, whenever they're killed, the next person becomes that. But nobody seems to want it, and he ended up, and part of the rule is, well, you can't leave. You have to stay here on this planet and all this, and it mines this mineral that's used in all these ships and stuff. So,
including his bike.
Yeah.
So
he finds a way to get out of this by convincing everyone on the planet to kill themselves so that they're all dead. And he's like, okay, I can leave now, and I'm going to take all these riches and stuff with me. So again, he just commits genocide just for the reason that he doesn't feel like staying there.
Intergalactic Jim Jones.
What?
Intergalactic Jim Jones. You got them all to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Or go like this.
Yeah.
Infidel.
So that's what it was, is all the people on this planet, if you hit them on the head, they exploded. So he goes, all right, everybody, follow me, do this. And he does this, and they all do that. And he's like, do this, and they do that. And he goes, do this, and they all do that. And then they all explode. He's like, okay, I can go now.
Across the entire
the whole
planet.
You can't leave any people if there's nobody to lead. So
that's right.
And then the other one I got is, like I said, I can't remember the issue number on it, but he dies and he goes to heaven, he gets kicked out. He goes to hell, he gets kicked out, and he's back on Earth because no one in the afterlife
wanted him.
Yeah. So they're like, heaven can't deal with him, hell can't deal with him. He's like, all right, you're back in the world. We can't can't deal with this. There was another one I was going to say about one of the series when he was on a vacation planet, but I'm sure that one of these other guys will have that on their list because it was a pretty good one too.
Okay. All right, I will go next. I have, of course, Dan took the first one with killing everybody on his own planet. I mean, that's a no-brainer. The tapping it, making everybody tap their head to explode. That's a no-brainer right there. I do have one where
I see what you did there. They blew their brains out.
They blew their brains out.
Blew their minds.
It was a no-brainer on the part of everybody on that planet. We're just like, okay.
Yep. So he's talking to Starfire, and he rips her top off expecting payment, and she just stands there making a sign like this, like, okay, you got to pay, money talks. And she didn't care that she was even naked. She was standing there like, whatever, money. And he was like like this the whole time. So that was another badass moment. One was another one where it was like a team up between Flash, Wonder Woman, and Lobo. And at the end of the fight, Wonder Woman just turns on him and just slashes his head right off. And Flash is like, "What the heck did you just do?" And he's like, "Don't worry, he's immortal. He'll live. He'll recover." And she picks up his head, and he's still there trying to talk to her and stuff like that. He's just like,
"Oh no! Don't you remember what he said? He was cursing. He was like, "Do you know how long it's going to take me to regrow the
body?" Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. So Tim, what do you have for badass moments from him?
Well, Lobo Unbound. The whole thing where he
the whole series, ladies and gentlemen, is a badass moment,
and
start to finish.
It absolutely is. Where he took the contract to kill the Lord or the ruler of the planet, and then got roped into being said ruler himself, and everything that he did, the entire series, is badass. And on top of that, pick any fight that him and Superman have ever had, because that's where Superman can really cut loose, and Lobo already does. And those are epically badass because Superman doesn't win every one of those. Lobo has won quite a few himself. So that's what I got.
Okay. All right, Tim. Gary, go ahead.
All right,
we're out there.
I like to do small moments sometimes, so let's do a small moment. When Lobo was born, the nurse that helped deliver him, he bites your fingers off. And then there's another version, Lobo Unbound, when he's born, he pushes the doctor who's smoking a cigar, and he grabs the cigar and he's smoking it, talking shit to the doctor right after he's born. That was part of Lobo Unbound. And Tim, oh my God, that whole book.
There are so many different art styles in that book, and they all fit, and they shouldn't.
Oh, well, Alex Horley did the main art that I really loved, the painted art.
Ambush Bug's part was great.
Oh, Ambush Bug. It was another. another character created by Keith Giffen, and let's give a lot of love to the late great Keith Giffen.
Mhm.
And in this week's DC books, there's a nice tribute to him.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Today would have been his birthday.
Oh wow, I did
Yep.
not realize that. Well, how appropriate is that? What a great character. But Ambush Bug is another one of his just ridiculous creations. So, but Lobo biting the hand off the nurse and taking the cigar from the doctor and smoking immediately. Come on, Lobo killed an icon with a knife. Santa Lobo
Oh, yes.
knife fight. Oh my God.
The paramilitary Christmas special, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
I'm sure we're going to see more of that later, too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So Santa and Lobo, and it's not
Hold it
like
up, Dan.
nice Santa. It's
Yeah.
yep. It is badass Santa.
That's great.
And Lobo and Santa in a knife fight for the ages. And this is after he's already waded through elves and is decapitating elves and ripping body parts off of elves and just piles of dead elf everywhere. So, but my favorite badass moment is in Injustice. Lobo gets a power ring.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
And
I haven't read that.
He's going after Atrocitus. First thing he does to piss off Atrocitus is he kicks Dexstar halfway across the galaxy. The cat kicks Dexstar. So then Atrocitus, God, I had it up earlier. Atrocitus puts up his shield and he looks at what Lobo has constructed. He says, "How dare
Oh
you,
my God. I know what you're
dare
about to
you
talk about.
attack me with something so vile?" And you see a
Phallic.
phallic-shaped object go through Atrocitus' shield and hit him. And Guy Gardner is with Hal Jordan, who's watching this, and Hal says, "Did he just?" Guy Gardner said, "Yes, he did." Oh,
That's
first,
classic.
oh, wait a minute, I forgot what Lobo said. He said, Atrocitus said, "How dare you attempt to assault me with that? Or you dare to do that?" He goes, "You goddamn right I dare. Green Lantern, beware the power of Green Lantern's blank."
Well, it's funny you mentioned Guy Gardner too, because Guy Gardner is like one of the few characters that Lobo actually likes.
Like, yeah, dropped the bar Gardner. But yeah, I think it was God. Let me see if I still have it. But it was beware. Yeah, shit. Oh well, I'm bad with tech. But anyway, it was.
That's all right.
But I think it was. God, okay. I'm sorry. It's just the line was so good. Yeah, he goes. He's okay. So Atrocitus says, "You dare attack Atrocitus with something so obscene?" He said, "Damn straight I dare. Beware my power. Green Lantern's blank." and he hits it with him. Oh
Wow.
And Hal just was like, "Oh my God, no, he did." And Guy is like, "Yes, he did." So, DC couldn't show you the whole phallic thing he did, but you gotta
your mind, yeah,
breaking through the shield. And the fact that Tom Taylor got that in that book is just amazing. And how great is that? In the video game, if you played Injustice, when Lobo beat you, he was like one of the, I think you could earn Lobo, and he turns around and after he beat you, yeah, he turned on his bike. He turns around and he fries you with the afterburners on the bike, and then he turns around and he gives you one of these. One of those is what he gives you. I'm not going to flip everybody off because I don't
read between the lines.
Read between the lines.
Gentlemen.
The middle one is probably the one he gave him. So he flips you, and it's blurred out actually, which is kind of funny too. They blurred it out, but yeah, the Lobo beating Atrocitus with a giant.
So what issue?
Phallus.
What's the issue on that one?
2. I can't remember which issue, but it was volume 2 of Injustice. Based on the video game series.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely gonna have to look that one up. That's
And Dan had one. I think Dan had one.
I can put it up in post, so don't worry
All right.
about that.
Make it happen, Captain.
You got it.
Do it.
Dan, what do you want to add?
The
Oh,
spring
nothing.
break.
I'll cover it when we get to recommended reading.
Okay.
All right. But our next segment is critiques and criticisms, and this is stuff what we don't like about the character. So I'll start first, and I'm going to make this pretty easy. I don't think it's really anything that's really wrong with the character. He's designed to be an asshole. He's designed to be, a thorn in everybody's side. That's how he was written, and that's how he is. My problem is I think writers they don't know how to put him in, because you can't make him a hero. He can't be on the road to redemption. You can't make him pure evil, because it just wouldn't work for him either. He is chaos. He is chaotic, but that's just what he is. So I think he's in this niche that he cannot break free from. So if your story doesn't call for a chaotic character like this, it's just you can't fit him in. And then that's what I think. Sim, what do you think about that?
Sal, I'm going to have to agree with you, because I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the character. You can't write him bad. I mean, if you do write him bad, it'll get corrected in the next series of whatever anybody does anyways.
Right.
I think he is a victim of circumstance. I think he's pigeonholed, but
in Lobo Unbound, he was a victim of circumcision.
For casserole. Yes, yum. Did you say yum? Yummy. But anyways, yeah, he's a victim of circumstance. He's pigeonholed, but I don't think that that's necessarily bad. He's overpowered for a reason.
Yeah.
You can't nerf him. I mean, it's there's nothing really bad to say about him.
All right, Dan, why don't you give us this next and let Gary round us out on that one?
Really, the only thing I don't like is when they try and put him in this team stuff, like especially when they did, when they did the JLA thing years ago, when they did like all these one shots, and it was like Justice League Atlantis and Justice League Arkham and Justice League Aliens, and it's like, oh, he's an alien, so we'll put him on this team with like Martian Manhunter and Superman. Like, no, or when he was part of the Justice League. When it was like him and Batman and the fake Adam and Black Canary, it was like Lobo is not a character that should be a member of the Justice League. Like Lobo shouldn't be coming to Earth for any reason unless he's there like for a contract or something, or I guess if he just wants to go drinking with Guy Gardner or something.
Right.
But yeah, like however you want to try and fit it in, like Batman, he owed Batman or something. Like Lobo does not belong on the Justice League.
No.
Lobo operates. So it was kind of funny back when they did Young Justice and they had, and he like regenerated as the teen Lobo and he was, part of Young Justice for a while. That was funny because it was only for a short amount of time. But for the most part, he's not a team player. Like even when he was part of Legion and he was having to do contracts for them, you could see he was really more trouble than he was worth for him. Which we will, I'm sure, get into later on with recommended reading. But yeah, that's what I don't like. I just, he's like the antithesis of everything that the Justice League is.
Yeah, I agree.
Sal, before you go to Uncle Gary, I found a picture.
Oh, let's see it. That's hilarious.
Look at that. Oh.
You get the idea, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that is phenomenal.
Yeah. So there you go. Merry Christmas.
Funny.
Or is that foul nominal?
Phallic nominal, yes.
Phallic nominal.
Gargantuanly awesome.
So what do you
Gary,
got?
come on,
Gary,
take us away.
Well, I do want to say when he was part of the Justice League, because he owed Batman, I didn't like that as much, but when he was part of Legion with Brainiac, who was such a dick, and he really owed Brainiac, and I liked that a lot because again, it was a galactic setting, which is where he fits in, in a space setting, and Brainiac was such a was was a real jerk too. So it takes a jerk to deal with a jerk. So, and I like the fact that Lobo really, he wasn't happy the fact that he owed that to Virile Docs, that he owed that debt to him. So I did enjoy Lobo as a part of Legion. But where I really did not enjoy Lobo was the New 52 relaunch in the Lobo series, Metrosexual Lobo.
Man.
Nobody was happy with that.
Yeah.
Logo.
That one sucked.
Urbane Lobo just did not work at all, and it was awful. So when you put him back in the Hells Angels, Intergalactic Hells Angels, you had it right. So that's where I thought he didn't work, was where they tried to make him suave, sophisticated, urbane Lobo.
He was the George Michael Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's crap.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. So that's where I didn't think he worked at all.
Okay, very good. All right, moving on to our next segment. It's a fun one. This is our top covers.
Ooh.
So Tim, why don't you show us your top covers first, and we'll go around the horn. Uncle Gary, you don't mind being last on all of these, do you?
No, I don't mind.
All right, because this is your pick.
Thank you. Nice covers, Tim.
Oh, you are welcome. So 2 of them I own, 1 I do not. Let's go ahead and go right with the one on the left first. That is Lobo Volume 1, number 3 of 4. That's just perfect. This is his first ongoing series. The cover alone says everything. He's chained. There's all those guns pointed right at him, and he's like, now I'm mad. So it's wonderful. This is classic writing here. The story is hilariously amazing, gratuitously violent. It's everything that you could want in a Lobo story. The one on the right, all the way, Lobo issue number 13, that was his first ongoing series. So he had several minis and one-shots before he had the ongoing series.
Do you own that one? Which one do you not own?
Number 13. That's the one I don't have.
I'll have to look out for you, because I know a guitar player like you would love to have that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm bass player by trade, ladies and gentlemen, but I have done what Lobo's doing right there on stage many a time. And it is awesome and amazing, and the cover just screams how awesome and amazing Lobo is. The one in the center is Superman the Man of Steel number 30. There's 2 covers for this. So this is the direct. The other one was the one where you could have all the little self-adhesive stickers, and you could have Lobo and Superman beat the snot out of each other above the Daily Planet, which was awesome. That was unlike any other comic I had ever seen up to that point. I don't think they've done it again since. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen.
I don't know.
I don't think so either.
But them 2 kicking the shit out of each other, it's classic. It's awesome. They both can unleash. They go toe-to-toe with each other. Both have won. Both have lost. And it's amazing.
Nice. So one quick question, Tim.
Yeah.
While you're on stage, did you also make that face and that makeup and everything like that?
I was never in makeup, but that face I have made a time or 2, yes.
I love it.
Lobo would be proud of you.
Oh, I when I was on stage, when I was playing bass guitar with my band, Half of Something, I would
what?
Half of Something, exactly. I would make it a point to be the loudest and the most mobile with the smallest amp on stage. And when I would do like when it was in the middle of solos and stuff like that, there was this one part we had in a song where I specifically only played the E string, and I just hammered the shit out of it, and I looked like that while I was doing it, and it was awesome and amazing, and I loved it.
Nice.
I've looked like that when I played with someone's G string.
Well, doing that got me to do that a time.
Oh,
or 2,
well, there you go. The circle of life, Tim.
That's right. Lion King, ladies and gentlemen, Lion King.
Guitar players always get the chicks. Okay.
But bass players...
We do sometimes. Bass players get the chicks.
When they come and talk to the bass player, that's when hierarchy gets destroyed, because, yeah, it's awesome. we get the smart girls.
I've never done on stage what Lobo's doing. I've never specifically done that. But the dumbest thing I ever did, because I would always run around stage a lot, like jump around stuff, is one time, and this is the time that I learned that I needed a really long guitar cord for jumping around stuff, is when I jumped off the little stage we were on into the crowd, because everybody was kind of like, not a ton of people, but it was a little pit, and it was a part where I wasn't having to sing, so I jumped in there and I was just kind of playing and jumping around with them, and I accidentally unplugged the guitar.
I had a 10-foot
run back up on stage and plug it back in.
It became an acoustic show.
I had a
show with a drummer and a bass player, and they're like, "Sounds like there should be guitar here."
Yeah, I had a 10-foot monster cable, and me and the other members of our exactly the other members of my band would choreograph when and where we were, so that way cords never got tangled.
Oh, very good.
We put a lot of effort into,
like in Ghostbusters. Can't let the streams cross.
Can't let the streams cross.
Streams, yeah.
Tim had that 10-foot monster cable like Lobo did with the ring.
That is true.
Monster is
a brand, ladies and gentlemen. It's a brand. You use it for your HDMI cords.
Bring up my top covers.
You got it.
We could talk about bass chords all night, but let's go ahead and move on.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Yeah, all right. So let's start with that first one. Lobo number 1 on the very left or right, depending on which side of the screen you're looking at. Who knows if you're backwards or not. Left side. I got your cover enhancement right here. This was a gift from our buddy Uncle Gary. He gave me this cover, and it's the shiny chrome one. And of course, that crotch piece is all nice and foily goodness. It's hilarious. It's great.
Wow. That is the greatest cover enhancement they ever did.
That's right. And I love the cigar smoking as well. I mean, that's just classic for me. Next one, number 1, Lobo is back. And I like this cover just for the jacket alone. Bite me, fanboy.
Yep.
And of course, I had to go with Lobo number 13, shredding the axe. I mean, who doesn't like a good guitarist shredding it right there on stage? I mean, come on. That's just awesome. All right, Dan, let's see your top covers.
Well, you're going to recognize a couple of them.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I'll start in the middle. I've also got Lobo's back because, I mean, that's just, I like that it's the book is Lobo's back, and then you see his back, and then the Bite Me fanboy. Like, it's just, that's the attitude that he would have. I've also, all the way on the right, got the Lobo one with the shiny chrome cod piece because, again, he's got the, I got your cover enhancement right here. Like, it's another thing that just screams, like, screams Lobo and screams the attitude. And, that jumps out at you. If you saw that on the comic rack, you'd be like, even if you didn't buy it, you would have to pick it up, be like, I got to flip through this and see.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
And then the one I've got all the way on the other side, the Lobo issue 1, the cover from his first miniseries. I believe that's the picture that Gary's got on his shirt.
Sure.
Yep.
Yes,
it is.
Just a amazing Simon Bisley cover. And I just love that look that he's got on his face, and where you could tell he's just like about ready to just explode and kill someone, and he's like biting his lower lip. See the little bit of blood coming out, like he's like, I gotta hold myself back, but he's just looks wild and uncontrolled. And when we when Gary picked, like, oh, we're gonna do Lobo, the first 2 covers that immediately popped into my head were the 2 issue ones. So I had to put those on.
Actually, before you change your issues over, I want to add something to that middle Lobo where it says strongly suggested mature readers. That's also just like the show label we got below. It's for mature readers.
But not just for mature readers, strongly suggested.
Strongly suggested.
That's right.
Yep. All right, Uncle Gary, round us out with your top covers.
All right.
There they are.
But before I talk about the covers, I'm going to ask, too, if y'all can get an image ready to show, because I really hurt me that I didn't put this on there. But if we can get just an image of the cover of the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, great. All right, so the Brightest Day Green Lantern. This was an alternate cover, number 55, where Lobo's got the rings. And this is pure Lobo, baby. I'm gonna stick these rings where you can't see their light. Come on. That was Mankey. That was a Doug Mankey cover. I mean, come on, guys. How great is that? That is
fantastic.
Lobo attitude there. The Lobo Unbound one, the book that we have talked about so much. Look at the wanted mature readers only sign, and look at what the knife is going through behind the sign. Dude's head, right through a dude's skull. Oh man,
looks like a samurai sword.
Yeah, and I just love the image of Lobo just sitting there smoking on some skulls and some bodies. That to me is just a great image of Logo. Alex Horley did that, and then Lobo 3 of his own book. He's taken his logo and he's stabbing a dude or a creature with the logo. I mean, I think that is just phenomenal. So, my list would have definitely had the cover enhancement, the foil, and the paramilitary Christmas special. But I talked to Sal a bit, and I wanted, because there's so many great Lobo covers, I wanted to get some more diversity of covers in here. But those definitely deserve to be there. The ones I have are just to show. I wanted to show a few different aspects of Lobo, because we could have all done the same 3 or 4 and been, all had very perfect choices. But I just wanted to get a few. But the Lobo 3, that's done by Val Zemeckis, I guess is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
I got that cover when you're ready.
Yep, I really love his art on the series, and I just thought he was really good. So let's go to the Lobo Paramilitary. That's a Bisley cover.
Yep, give me one second.
And that Green Lantern issue 55, I've got the A cover for that, but not the B cover. I wish I had the A cover is good, but
yeah, well, I have both. I picked that up because Lobo. But anyway, there's the Paramilitary Christmas special. When I recommend this book, I buy this book to people. I've bought many copies of this and given it as gifts. And I say, I got 4 words for you: Santa, Lobo, Night Fight. So it's all you need to know.
What you need to pass along to people, Uncle Gary, is the YouTube link for this.
Yes.
There you go.
That's what you're here for. Thank you. That was very good, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for enlightening me with that, Tim. That was good.
Yeah.
I think I actually seen that video before I read the issue, because when you gave me the issue, like he said, he gifted one to me, and I was reading it, and I'm like, oh, I've definitely read this. I remember this. I remember all this stuff. And then when, Tim or one of you guys are like, oh yeah, when we were talking about this a while ago, like a month or 2 ago, like, oh, have you seen this? And I turned it on. I'm like, that's what it was. I saw that. I remember it.
This live action version, ladies and gentlemen, right there, that is the main man in the flesh. It couldn't have been done any better up until Jason Momoa takes over the part.
That will be amazing. And also in the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas special, what people forget is it's a tale within a tale. These parents are reading their children this bedtime story, and in it, it talks about insurrection, and the parents become worried that their children will come and kill them like Lobo has killed Santa. Yeah. So at the end of the story, the parents go upstairs to kill the children. So I mean, wrong on so many levels.
Wow.
Well, and you mentioned live action. I didn't watch the show, but I saw little bits of it here and there. The guy that they had play Lobo in the Krypton show, from the little bit that I saw, looked like he was pretty decent at it.
I vaguely remember that, and I think I liked him in that too. But like Tim said, I don't know that there's any casting that is better than Momoa as Lobo. I mean, what's more spot on than that?
Oh yeah,
definitely needs to be Lobo. There's one commercial that he did that you can watch on YouTube that's fantastic, which screams Lobo when he's like at some bar, and he goes, he's like, drink it, chuck something, whatever, and then he chugs a beer and then turns around and throws an axe and gets a bullseye by throwing an axe, and he's like, fuck yeah. This guy playing Aquaman and not Lobo,
right?
Well, there was a reason for that. DC the main, listen, in the comic community, we have read where Aquaman was a badass starting before your guys' time, but with the Jim Aparo Aquaman, he was a badass. And then Jeff Johns, had him as a badass in New 52. But the general public is still used to seeing Super Friends jokes because of how useless he was there, and then Aquaman and all these comedians riffing on him. So DC, and the Peter David Aquaman, of course, was pretty badass too. DC knew that they needed to cast somebody that was a real badass to get that image out of the public's mind. So non-traditional casting, but I thought they had a really good reason for doing that, was to make so that Aquaman wouldn't be a joke anymore. You know?
Uncle Gary, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what's not a joke? Finding comic books.
No.
Sal, where could that be?
Oh, well, you can, if you're looking for these covers or looking for these books, you can go over to Heroes. You go over to Gary's the Library of Comics, and he'll show them to you.
The Emporium.
Yeah, the Emporium itself. But honestly, folks, if you go online,
if you want to possess them yourself, where do you have to go?
Yeah, you can't get these. That, baby.
Unless he gifts you Camelot 3000 or the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special.
That's right. Or Swamp Thing 9.
He'll go Lobo on your ass if you try to take them. All right? So, all right, folks, for real now, if you go over to heroescornercomics.com, go check them out. They are a great site. They sell lots of back issues, lots of slabs, lots of
new issues, old issues,
old issues,
variants.
Yep. Variants and store exclusives. That's the word I was looking for right there. Thank you very much. And you could actually use the keyword CODEX and save 20% on that order. You can even set up a pool list through Previews World and save money on your weekly pools.
I've done it. It's not difficult. It's really easy.
It's really easy. Really easy. All right, so head on over to heroescornercomics.com and check them out. All right, so for our next segment, I
just wanted to tell Tim I'm happy that your weekly polls are very easy.
They are, ladies and gentlemen, and
they are.
It's a slow, gentle tug because anything more than that, you could.
It is not. It is not slow. It is not gentle.
Slow and steady, ladies and gentlemen. Take your time. There's no.
But you know what is slow and steady? The essential readings.
That's
right. Oh, nice segue.
I'm trying.
Way to keep this locomotive that is just all over the tracks right down the straight and narrow. Sal, you're doing a yeoman's job today, buddy.
Well, it is Lobo, so it's chaos. So
it is chaos.
Who you got up first, Sal?
I'm gonna put up Dan going first for our top reads today.
Right on.
All right, so I've got Justice League International 18 through 21 on here. That was the series is written by Keith Giffen and DeMatteis and had art by Kevin Maguire. I put that on there because, when Lobo, I think it was Gary alluded to it earlier, when Lobo was originally introduced in Omega Men 3, he was vastly different than the Lobo character that we know now. He had on this, let's face it, this terrible orange and purple next jumpsuit thing.
Terrible.
And, his look was completely different. Not just his costume, but really the way his hair and his face was. His personality was not quite the Lobo that we know now. And he was kind of had fallen to the back burner for a while, and pretty much until this story arc in Justice League, that's where we really started to get the Lobo that we know now, where he had the biker gear on, he had the kind of wild hair, the facial features the way he is, the personality, that he had. Like, it wasn't quite as outrageous in that as he went on to be, but that's the story where he becomes the character that became so popular. So that's the reason I put that one on there. Then I've got Lobo 1 through 4. That's his first miniseries. Just absolutely fantastic. The story in that is the one where he decides he wants to go out and kill this person that has publish this unauthorized biography of him, which he does not appreciate. And he gets hired for this job by Real Doc from Legion, where he has to pick up this criminal and drop them off somewhere. And he keeps telling him, like, and it has to be, you can't kill him. You can't kill him. He's like, all right, I got it, whatever. So he picks him up and he finds out the person is his 4th grade teacher that was the only teacher that would fail him. And also the person that wrote the book about him. But since he is, but since his word is his bond, he could not kill her no matter what. So he had to put up with her annoyance and then go through all of these, outrageous adventures to get her to the end of the story. And one of the things I alluded to earlier, I almost put in my badass moments, was he decides to take a break and go to this vacation planet, but he's bored because, the stuff that other people enjoy, he doesn't. So, everybody in the universe knows who Lobo is. So he goes on this planet-wide, this planet-wide broadcast that tells everyone, he's like, look, I'm here, and in half an hour, I'm just going to start destroying and killing everyone here. Half an hour to go. And then him doing that causes massive destruction and chaos among the planet for everybody trying to get away and like killing each other to get to the front of the lines, to get on ships, to get away, to escape him. And he just kicks back and is watching it and laughing. He's like, yeah, this is a lot better now. So he did that just because it amused him to watch people do that. And then, he's got all these different factions throughout the series that are all after him for different reasons. And it all kind of comes to a head at the end. And it's just such a fun read. And the way that the book ends after he completes the job is just pure Lobo. And then we've mentioned it, all of us, many times, Lobo Unbound. We've talked about it a lot already, and I know at least one of the other guys, if not all of them, are going to have this on their list. So I will leave this for them to talk about. I'll just say, from the moment the book starts until the end, it's just outrageous. It's crude. It's violent. It's funny. And just when you think, okay, they can't do anything that's more tasteless or more offensive,
they do.
The page, and you're like, oh shit, okay. So there's, I don't even want to say all these little elf type characters, and I don't even want to
the Moyle Men.
I don't even want to say what it is that they want to do.
Jockeys.
I don't want to spoil it, but when you read it, you'll be like, oh my God. Everything about that book, you'll be reading it saying, like, I can't believe that DC published this.
And they did 6 glorious issues of it.
Yes. That, of all the Lobo stuff I've read, Unbound is the most Lobo of all the Lobo.
Yes.
All right, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and kick up mine then. Pull up my essential readings.
All right, give me just a moment here.
Probably won't be as classic as Dan's there, but still good reads.
There you go, Sal.
There we go. We got the first one there, Bounty Hunting for Fun and Profit. This is where he teaches Leslie, an average comic reader, how to be a successful bounty hunter. And he reluctantly shares secrets because of financial need. And so it's a funny story. You have to read this type of thing. It's classic Lobo. But the fact that he's teaching a comic reader how to be a bounty hunter, this is almost like, this is Deadpool before Deadpool was a thing. You know what I'm saying? You know? So this was came out in 1995. Alan Grant and Frank Gomez did the writing for this, and it's one of those classic things you have to read. Next one up is Blazing Chain of Love, edition number 1.
Yes.
Ken Griffin and Alan Grant, came out in 1992. So he's on the trail of a beautiful murderess who's hiding in a harem that is the size New Jersey. And of course, the tagline is, these ladies are lovely and lonely, and what's he gonna do? Is he gonna submit to the feminine wiles, or will he be able to complete his bounty? I don't want to ruin it for folks, but this is a funny story, good one to read. Definitely check it out.
So he basically nailed New Jersey.
Wow.
He nailed New Jersey. I didn't want to say it like that, but that's how it is. That's how it is.
I think New Jersey's okay with it, though.
Yeah.
They probably are. They probably
Yeah.
are. So, all right. So my last one, I got Lobo Volume 2. Keith Griffin and Alan Grant also wrote this one. Came out in 2019, and this is goes over a lot of stories about his illegitimate children, his interstellar revenue service, his fight with the interstellar revenue service, his 2 tours of duty with the authority. There was one hangover in the universe that will never get rid of type of thing. It's hilarious. This goes over a lot of issues. It's like collects Lobo Infanticide 1 through 4, Death and Taxes 1 through 4, Lobo number 58 Authority.
Wow.
And then Lobo Jingle Hell and Authority, and then Lobo Spring Break Massacre.
Oh
So there's a lot of issues. That's why I said Lobo Volume 2, because you can get it all in one spot. So if you can pick up the hardcover for this, do that, and that way you're not hunting down a lot of issues. But definitely check this out.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tim, you're up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's right there, Uncle Gary, in all its glory, the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special. If you haven't read this, read it, guys. This is a one-shot. It's 28 pages of glorious Lobo Christmas holiday cheer. And you need to read this. I'm not gonna say any more about it because Uncle Gary has said a lot, and I know he's got a lot more to say. So I'm gonna leave that for him. Lobo 1 through 4, Volume 1. Dan covered that very, very well. It's on both of our lists for a reason. So, ladies and gentlemen, check that out. The one I really want to talk about.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
We haven't talked about it yet, so I'm glad I'm the first. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish Dan, Sal, and Uncle Gary could have read this because it is fucking hilarious. Lobo Unbound. It is 6 issues. It came out sometime in the early 2000s, I think 2003.
Yes.
And it is unbound.
Holy shit. Sometimes I'm going to let you in on a little secret, ladies and gentlemen. On some of these episodes, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to let you guess which ones those are, but I'll never tell. With Lobo, my knowledge of Lobo is very tiny, very small, almost as big as a Moyle Man. And if you read Lobo Unbound, you'll know how much Lobo info I have in my brain. After reading that, I was dying laughing. I had a kid sleeping on the couch, and I'm reading this cackling like an old lady. It was great from first page to last page. This has several different art styles in it. Like I said before, that shouldn't work, that do, and they work perfectly. All of the characters are over exaggerated stereotypes that will offend people.
Yes.
And it's,
yes, indeed.
Yes.
There is gratuitous nudity in here. There is nothing left to the imagination on what he does and why he does it. He's very open.
So it's a Lobo book. So it's what you're trying to say.
This is the Lobo series. If you want to get into Lobo and you want to do it like in the most offensive way possible to see if you can really handle him, read that.
Yes.
I highly recommend that. When we do the Codex Awards, you will hear the words Lobo Unbound again.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
So there you go.
Okay, Uncle Gary, thrill us.
Oh man, I tell you what, I got to say that, I didn't put it on my list, and I probably should have swapped something out. Lobo Unbound. Tim, just hearing, and when I know that you messaged,
I texted you right after I finished it.
that
Yeah, I
you-
saw the thing you put in the group chat. You're like, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, and then it went to text after that. Gary and I had a nice little conversation.
The fact that you enjoyed it so much brings me so much pleasure. You know, the fact that you didn't know much about Lobo, but now I bet you want to read some more Lobo books, right?
Oh yeah, that's happening. Now,
But
don't get me wrong. Like I grew up with Lobo in the '90s, so my knowledge is that much, and that's
right,
it.
okay. But that book, that if you're going to read one series, like you said, the Loboist of Lobo books, that is it.
Done.
And the
Yeah.
the Moyle men and what they want. And the
What did
Lobo,
they say? We want foreskin of Zarian. Whoa, what?
yeah, because
For
it's the last
casserole.
and they offered him a bite of the casserole when they got him.
Ambush bug, ambush Bob, ambush
Yeah.
Bob, and Lobo all the way on the other side of the galaxy. He's like, ambush Bob, and he's
Yeah.
looking around. He's got 3 women clawing all over him, and he stops and he's like, "Wait a minute, okay."
The Moyle men, he called them Johnson jockeys at one
Yeah.
point when they got on
Oh
him.
my god.
Oh, and when he was working his way through the harem, when he's done with the gal, he was just throwing them. I mean, he was literally tossing them.
Toss him aside.
Yeah, just tossing them aside. And somebody says, "Well, we need you now. How long?" And he says, "Are you the last one?" She says, "Yes." He says, "About 10 minutes." And then the next one says, "About 10 minutes later."
Yep.
Lobo's pulling up his trousers.
Meanwhile, on this page,
Yeah, right.
don't worry, guys, we'll get through this together.
Oh, the first adversary he goes out, which was the race of what? Scrotus Humongous.
Oh my god. Oh yes, the dude swinging his testicles.
Yes,
Yes.
he's got
weapons.
giant testicles.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and he swings like bolos as wrecking balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, this series isn't even on his recommended reading
No,
list, and we're talking about it. That's how good it is.
It should have been. I know. I made a mistake because I sent this into Jamie a week ago.
Oh man!
And because you were laughing at Lobo Unbound, I just read it again today. And I was in freaking tears. I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot all that." And the little Kim lookalike. Oh my god.
Oh my god! What the hell was her name? I can't remember right offhand.
Yeah. And then he rips her face off and says she's gonna have to learn ugly girl manners or charm.
Because like she had beaten him in a previous match, and she was under the impression that she was top dog, and Lobo said something along the lines of "down doesn't mean out, toots," and he sliced half her face off with the hook. Oh.
And then he said something I can't remember exactly what it was, but something like, now you'll be happy when the guys don't stare at your face.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And then at the end of Lobo Unbound, when he's on the Bill O'Reilly-esque show, for those that don't know, ladies and gentlemen, he was a horrible news anchor.
Yes.
He got fired for good reasons. But he's going through the script of Lobo Unbound, and he's like talking to Boobalicious or whatever her name is. And he's like, "So you died?" And she's like, "No, I didn't. I'm right here." And he's like, No. It says right here on page 72, you're dead. And Lobo's like, "No." Ambush Bug is even like, "She's right there, dude." It's great.
Oh,
it's so good.
My goodness. So and the little Kim parody. She had over her nipples. She just had little X's.
X tape.
And he hits her so hard one time, one of the little
flies
off. So
oh my god!
She's got one nipple exposed for the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, and that's not even on the list. So,
yeah. What about your stuff, Gary?
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, Gary. What about your stuff?
It should have been there. So, listen, we are almost in December. In a few hours, we'll be an hour and like an hour and 15 minutes. We'll be in December, and nothing says Christmas like the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas special. For that special holiday gift, this is the equivalent of a Hallmark movie you want to curl up with, where everything works out well for Christmas. Because this is the reason for the season. so like I said, when I recommend this book or give it away, It's just 4 words: Lobo, Santa, knife fight. That's all you need to know, and it is fantastic. So
The good thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you can find that book in every dollar bin in the country.
yes, yes. And for those of you that don't know, who would hire Lobo to kill Santa? That is a very special surprise in itself.
And the only reason I didn't have this on my recommended reading list is because I knew that Gary was going to have it on his. So I was like, all right, he's going to have that. So I'm gonna have the opportunity to throw something else on here.
Hey, just like I did with the covers, valid choice. I'm like Dan. I've got Lobo 1 through 4, and I think Tim had it, or Sal had it too. The original miniseries, and Dan.
I had that on there.
Oh, you had it on
Yeah,
your.
Tim.
Yep. Dan covered that excellently. So what he said, absolutely right. Lobo 1 through 4 sets the stage. That's another way to really set the stage for who the character is and what he's about. And then the one that's more recent is there was an 8-issue miniseries a year or two ago called Crush and Lobo. And Crush is Lobo's daughter. Now he's gone and he's killed all of his kids, but Crush has survived. And Crush is a part of the, I don't know, like the younger version of the Titans now. I forget what they call them now, but so she's a member
Young
of that.
Justice?
Young Justice, that's what it is.
Okay.
Thank you. So Crush is his daughter, and I think she's an interesting character. And Lobo is locked up in an interplanetary prison, and for the first time ever, he reaches out to her and wants to bond with his daughter and wants her to come visit him, and is feeling that he wants to connect with his daughter, and she falls for it. That's all I'll say. He falls for it, and she comes, visits him, and things do not go well for her. So that's all I'll say in case you want to read it. It's readily available in trade paperback right now, but he does not treat his daughter very kindly. Let's just leave it at that. So it seems like it might be a scheme that he wants to see her for. So Crush and Lobo, I think it's a fun read. It was let me give it was by Makiro Takai or Tamakai and Amanke Nathlanpan. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the names, but those were the two creators that did that. And the paramilitary Christmas special, Give Love, that was Alan Grant, Keith Giffen, and Simon Bisley on the art. And then Lobo 1 through 4 was Alan Grant, Keith Giffen, and Simon Bisley on the art on that. So there we go. Right. Those are my picks.
Great picks all around, guys. This has been a great episode so far. On to our last segment. We're at an hour 20. I can't believe we spent an hour 20 so far. But our last segment is best artist and author. So these are the ones that we pick out for this character, not necessarily work together, but to the ones that we think stand out. So I will kick this off, and I got to go and give it to Roger Sifler and Keith Giffen. I mean, they're the originals on this, I believe, and there's just no duplicating that in my opinion. So that's who I have. Dan, what about you?
For writer, I had to go with the main creator of Lobo, Keith Giffen. He wrote.
I said Griffin. Sorry, Giffen. You're right. I said Griffin. Sorry.
He some of the series he wrote with Alan Grant. In Justice League International, when Lobo appeared in there, he wrote it with James DeMatteis. But some of the series he wrote it, just on his own, like Unbound was just him writing it. But the one common denominator there is Keith Giffen. And it's funny because when Lobo was created, he wasn't the writer on the book; he was the artist.
Oh, yep.
For Omega Men, Roger Slipher, however you say it, was the writer. But Keith Giffen is, like I said, for me, that's the one for writer. He created him. He's written him across all these different series. Excuse me. He's the one that nails the character best. And for artists, I mean, there's been some really great ones, but I got to go with Simon Bisley. He
Nice.
He did his original miniseries. He did the paramilitary Christmas special. Like I said, I would have put that on my recommended reading list, but I knew at least Gary and someone else probably would too. But he's done a lot of stuff with Lobo over the years. So whenever I think of Lobo, I immediately go to the art that he does, and not just the interior art, but the covers that he does. If you look at my 3 recommended covers, 2 of them were done by Simon Bisley. The gorgeous painted covers that he did. I mean, the art on the one cover that's on Gary's T-shirt is him. So immediately when I think of Lobo, that's immediately the art that pops into my head.
Good choices.
Sal, you are muted, sir.
Sorry, I was coughing. That's why I was muting.
That's all right.
Good choices, Dan. Love it. Tim, how about you?
Writer, I think that's a no-brainer. Keith Giffen. Artwork, I think I'm going to have to go with Alex Horley. His work in Lobo Unbound. I mean, it's my favorite right now, and I'm gonna have to go with that. That's wonderful. Keith Giffen is the writer. I don't think there's any other choice. Alan Grant also does amazing work with Lobo too. But Keith Giffen, like you said, Dan, he is the creator of Lobo. He made Lobo the way that we know and love the main man, the Bastich himself. Alex Horley's artwork, ladies and gentlemen, if and when you read Lobo Unbound, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The work in that book is amazing. It's surreal, it's stylized, and it's perfect. It fits Lobo to a T. So that's
Tim?
what I got.
I don't think that's an if situation. I think that people are going to read that one, okay?
I hope so. After we've basically told you the whole story, but you have to read it for yourself.
Yep. All right, Uncle Gary, who do you got?
All right. Well, before I tell you that, I just want to say, fellas, I really appreciate y'all going all in on this episode, on the balls deep, if you will. Balls deep. Of all the ones we've done some great characters. This is the most fun I've had doing this. I mean, we have laughed and we have laughed and we have laughed.
Dan, is this as much fun or more fun than MODOK?
It's more fun than MODOK.
Agreed. Okay, yeah. MODOK's the number 2, Lobo's the number 1.
Okay, well,
there was no MODOK Unbound.
Oh man,
there needs to be.
MODOK out of the chair. There you go. Yeah, can't move. This is just so much fun. So thanks for y'all. Y'all have really made. I mean, I love Lobo, always have, and y'all have made this a lot of fun. So I want to thank you for that.
He's such a fun character.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
I got to give Alan Grant a lot of love, and sometimes it's hard to separate Giffen from Grant because they collaborated on so many great stories.
Very true.
But very much like what Dan said, and the story, the common denominator is Keith Giffen. Yeah. And so I got to give the edge to him. But they're such a team, it's really hard to split them up. But so Keith Giffen would be 1A and Alan Grant to me would be 1B. So that type. But Keith Giffen gets the edge. Now for art, I love Bisley. I think Bisley's got a great style and captures him wonderfully. But like Tim, I really love Alex Horley a lot too. That did Unbound. But I really enjoyed the Lobo ongoing series. It went like 63 issues.
Yeah.
And Val Zemeckis is, I guess, how we pronounce it. He did most of the early issues, including the issue where the logo is being stabbed into the creature. I thought he captured that Lobo really great, and that series had a diner, Al's Diner, he loved, and Darlene was the waitress that he always hit on and liked a lot, and Al was her father. So those were the supporting characters in the Lobo series. But I really liked that art, and I just enjoyed that whole series so much that it left me left me really enjoying that style of Lobo. But man, Horley is close and Bisley is close on this too. So it's just a lot of greatness to choose from,
a lot
and
of good
a lot
talent.
of fun. And this character is just an absolute hoot. So, Like I said,
Awesome.
so it was a lot of fun. So Giffen and Zemeckis for me.
One
picks.
thing I'd
Good
like
choices.
to add too is, since we all mentioned him, Keith Giffen, who created Lobo. He's listed as co-creator, but I mean, let's face it, Keith Giffen created Lobo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
He passed away recently, just about a month and a half, 2 months ago, or just under 2 months ago. We are recording this live right now on November 30th, which is Keith Giffen's birthday. So, it's, I don't know if it's, I don't know what you would call it, but
the Dolphins have spoken.
yeah, I think it's pretty appropriate that we just happen to be recording the Lobo episode on what would have been his birthday. So a big loss, a big loss to the world of comics.
Well,
Do y'all know what Keith Giffen's last Twitter post was? Are y'all familiar with this?
I remember seeing it, but I don't remember what it said.
Okay, so Keith Giffen. Now, this guy was known as a curmudgeon, right? And I've met him a few times. I've got his signature on some things, and he was a curmudgeon. But people have always said he was one of the funniest guys you'll ever know. And you talk about going out with a bang. This happened right before the New York Comic Con that he passed away, and this is from Keith Giffen's official site right after he's died. I told him I was sick. Anything not to go to New York Comic Con. Thanks, Keith Giffen. And he goes, blah, at the end, which was the famous Booster Gold
Justice League thing, yeah.
Blue Beetle Justice League. But I told him I was sick. Anything not
Wow.
to go to New York Comic Con. Wow. I mean, come on. How great is that, fellas?
That's pretty funny. That's great.
That you had that set up to go. You weren't doing well, and that's what you were going to post. And people read it like me and thought, that's a joke, right? But he really had passed away. So, and that's the kind of humor he was, that even as he's going out the door, he's got a last gag for everybody. I can do nothing but respect that, fellas.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you believe Keith Giffen is, I hope that he is looking down on us, having a blast, talking about his greatest creation.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. That and Ambush Bob.
Yeah.
Ambush Bob.
And Gnort.
And Gnort.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Sal.
That'll be next week's character of the week.
Yes!
Oh,
I will be sick that week and out of commission for that one.
Gnort was so great in Human Target. Oh my God, it was great.
I can't remember if I posted it yet. I think it's upcoming, but as Gary mentioned on the Comic Character of the Day page on Facebook, where I post the random panel of the day, there's one coming up soon with Gnort that's pretty funny.
All right, we'll stand by for that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this wraps up this segment and this show. It's been a great show, guys. Good stories, good covers, a great discussion about Lobo, Mr. Chaos himself, the main man.
We got Brian Emmert right there. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Hey, Brian.
He says,
comment.
This was a couple minutes ago, about 20 minutes ago. He said, best read outside of Sandman for me from DC, my favorite main man outside of X-Men. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Lobo Unbound. He wouldn't be talking about anything else.
No. Indeed.
Sorry,
right.
Sal.
No, that's all right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I am Sal, the Slab Guy, your host. You can always find me on here on the Codex Station. All right, let's go to there first. You can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner and under Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. And Dan, why don't you tell us where everybody can find you?
Well, right now you can find me in my basement doing this show. But if you do find me here, I'm going to do to you what Lobo would do to somebody that was coming to bother him.
Dan's a big teddy bear. He can't do anything. Don't worry about it, folks. Just show up. He'll give you pizza.
He'll rip your arms off, Jim. Be careful.
But you can also find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art, where I post art and music a few days a week. So go check it out. Give me a follow. Give me some likes. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want to see.
1K for DK.
Join the fun. Yes. And buy a commission so that your money may become my money that I may use to go out and buy Lobo comics.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Now I feel inspired. I might go and draw some Lobo.
Ooh,
Nothing wrong with
feel
that.
like as a writer too, even though I post art on there, I consider myself more of a writer than I do as an artist. And Lobo just, there's characters that I like Captain America's my favorite character. But I'm like, I don't know if I could write Cap. I could definitely write some good Lobo stuff. So that's one that I imagine is just a ton of fun to write.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
All right.
Guy next to me who picked this character this week.
That's right.
Going on, and he's going to tell you all about it right now.
All right, the main man, brought to you by us, but yeah, I picked him. All right, Comic Logic. Comic Logic is the only comic book store in Loudoun County, Virginia. I am one of the proud owners of it. Please come see us. We would love to see you. You can catch me there every Wednesday when the new books come in. I get that new book and we put it in there and we inject it right there, and that 4-color ink gives you muscles. Comic books give you muscles. That's what we're here to say.
Carrying long boxes.
Look at the physiques on these guys. Why? Because we read comic books, baby. That's what gives you muscle. That's right. So come see us at Comic Logic. We would love to have you. If you can't come see us, come look online. We do a Facebook Live show the first 3 Thursdays of every month. And we just had one of our Ye Grumpy Old Nerd show tonight. So please come see us. And we would love to have you comment and be a part of that. I also am a part of the Comic Character of the Day site. Under the name Opie Taylor, I post a comic cover of the day. This site was founded by our good buddy Archduke Kevy. He's the reason that we are all here connected together, because we met under, as being a part of that site. So I post the covers of the day. Dan over there posts the random panel of the day and the question of the day. Sal's always making posts. And Tim, who I'm kicking it up to next, Tim is always watching. He is always watching. He's always looking. He is ever vigilant. That's what he is, ever vigilant. So, like I say, he's got all the senses. And on that site, it's the site. He is the site. He is the one that makes sure that we are doing you justice. Thank you, Tim.
You're very welcome.
I
Thank you
want to
very
add to
much.
that too, that Santa has a beard, Tim has a beard.
Oh,
Also, like Santa, Tim will see you when you're sleeping, when you're awake. He will know
if you've been good or bad.
good.
So be good for goodness sakes.
Definitely be naughty, ladies and gentlemen.
Somebody's
coming.
Somebody's coming to town.
Tim, is it painful coming down the chimney?
I can't confirm or deny that. I mean, you haven't seen Santa and me together in the same place, so
I have not. I have not.
But dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, ladies and gentlemen.
Dogs and cats.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we're bleeding.
Don't forget to find us on all the socials. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station, and that is where we will be, your favorite social media platform, and definitely where we are live streaming right now, not for our benefit, but for yours, because we love to do this all day, every day. And all we ask in return, if you like what you watch, if you've had as much fun as we have talking about Lobo, do us a favor, hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow. It really helps us out. We're not asking for money. We don't need that right at the moment. What we do need is your support, and the like, share, subscribe, and follow definitely helps with that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you need to take a look at the best website on the face of the internet right now. That's the CODEXstation.com. Our very own, our very lovely, our very talented this guy over here, Sal the Slab Guy, he doesn't just do slabs, ladies and gentlemen. He does websites. And he did a really good one. Yeah, I've watched him do it, and I sat in awe the whole time. I couldn't even talk. The CODEXstation.com. Head there for some merch, meet the team, and so much more. And I do emphasize that so much more because there's a ton of stuff on there for you to check out. Once again, the CODEXstation.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, where Dan introduces the main man of the hour, the Ric Flair of comic books, Uncle Gary himself, and then Uncle Gary gives me that beautiful and wonderful introduction. Though my tongue may be silver, the man with the gold lace tattoos and the shiny diamond hands, sitting right over there. He is our host with the most. He is the driver on this crazy bus that we all love. And I'm going to pass that right over to him. Sal, the slab guy.
Well, thank you very much, Tim.
Nice.
I appreciate that. So that segue, that was pretty good. I feel like I am in the driver's seat. My God, this is
You
great.
are.
Captain,
once
my
again-
captain.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys. Thank you.
The
Great show
pipes,
tonight,
the pipes
guys.
are calling.
I can't
sorry.
wait to see. That's all right. I can't wait to see us again next week. Who are we covering next week? We don't
Jamie's
know.
got to let us know.
Oh, Jamie has to let us know. Jamie, come on, man. Usually we have this planned out. We're much more organized than this. This week's a little rough. So
It's a mystery.
it's a mystery. You guys have to tune in and check it out. And as always, guys, I hope you guys have a 9.8 day.
Gaping holes.
Phallic symbols.